I'm a retired Army vet of 12 years. I did 3.5 years in Iraq, 16 different psych meds from the VA, as a matter of fact. 6 of them were to treat the illness, treat my suicide, my anxiety, depression, the TBI. The other 10 were to treat the side effects of that until I found the magic of psychedelics. My name is Chris Leisinger. I'm a retired Army vet of 12 years. I was a scout sniper for those 12 years. I did 3.5 years in Iraq. Life before psychedelics was rough. I was emotionally numb. I didn't care about anything. I actually tried to kill myself once, and my 230-pound Mastiff Repo stopped me from doing it. And when I say stop me, I had the gun in my lap. He picked it up, carried it to the back fence, dropped it in the dirt, and then sat on it. And then when I reached to grab it, he growled and snapped at me and then cowered like I was gonna beat him. That was my big aha wake-up moment. Through my motorcycle club, Rolling Locos, that's what got me into the psychedelics. And it changed my life. It helped rewire my brain so that I'm off all the meds. I can actually enjoy life again. I'm not angry. I'm actually probably one of the calmest individuals there is. We're used to, I didn't go to Walmart unless it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, because if you bumped into me, I'm ripping your head off. Because I was just so uneasy, I was so agitated, so angry. I've started partnering with and working with my brother Mike Mannion and the Healing Frontline Warriors. And if you start talking to him, I'm the reason he got into it. When he heard my story, that was the catalyst that kick-started him doing what he does. And he does it all nonprofit. He tries funding it all by himself. And right now he's looking for investors, but it's rough. But he has a mission, and he uses his VA benefits to fund all of it. And he does fundraisers to take vets down to he has a facility down in Mexico where they've got a 30, a 60, and a 90-day process, or you can go down there for just a ceremony. I've done 16 to 20 different ceremonies to the point now I can actually help facilitate and help other people. I can dive into people's psyche and help them clear the cobwebs, as I like to say it, or, you know, wake up from the matrix. I've done mushrooms, I've done ayahuasca, I've done bufo, which is from the Sonoran desert toad. I'm actually in the process of going down there to get initiated with the Seri Indians so that I can help facilitate and help Mike and his journey, because it's his very first ceremony. I was there with him, and when he woke up and opened his eyes, I looked him straight in the face and said, "I've been waiting for you for 1,000 years. And he started crying. And he's like, "Where have you been?" It doesn't make sense to most people, like, how did I know him 1,000 years ago? But it's not the meat suit that our body is. It's our soul, it's our energy, it's who we are as a person. And somewhere 1,000 years ago, me and Big Mike were together doing who knows what. But we were there, and since then, him and I have been riding this magical roller coaster to the ends of the earth, helping people, healing veterans specifically. My little brother John, which is bigger than me, he was a Marine, he was field artillery, and he had a lot of trauma. And he finally told me one day, and he was against drugs, he didn't even smoke weed, he was like, "That's just not my thing." He came up to me one day and said he was ready to go for a spirit walk. And I set it up with Big Mike, and it completely changed his life. I pulled the gun out of his mouth at one point because he had a bad alcohol problem. Not anymore. Now he just drinks recreational and has fun with it. But 2 words is what changed his life. I told him to go left. In our ceremony, him and I are both Norse pagan. He said everything to his right was just dark and cold and creepy, but everything to the left was Valhalla. It was a feast. It was everybody he loved, everybody he cared about. And I told him, go left. That's what he needed to hear as something as simple as 2 words changes someone's life. That's why I'm a big advocate of it. I'm down to help anybody and everybody that needs it. It all depends on the person. Sometimes it takes years, sometimes it takes a couple days. I always tell people, like 3 or 4 days afterwards, you're going to start getting these serendipity moments where things just start connecting and things you didn't realize before. As I told a lot of people, the fog that's in our brain that clouds, PTSD, that clouds traumatic experiences, things you've seen in Iraq or Afghanistan. The human body is not designed to do it, but we signed up to defend our country, writing a check to include our life. And the VA doesn't, they just want to throw pharmaceutical meds at you, and it makes you emotionally numb. You could have handed me, like 8 years ago, you could have handed me $20 million, and I'd have been like, cool. That was me showing appreciation, where now you hand me $20 million, I'm going to lose my mind, because I've learned to live again. I'm not angry. And, Mike Mannion and Healing Frontline Warriors is an amazing setup. I personally tell them, I'm like, I don't see it's a drug because it's all natural. It's not something you got to cook up in a lab. It's not something you got to combine this and go to a lab and press it and form it together. It literally grows. You chop it up, make it into a tea, and drink it. And I think the people the naysayers, they're just scared. They're scared to realize that there's more to life than what we see here. I would tell them, you're not alone. And one of the things I've told people, it's okay to not be okay. I was a scout sniper where I was told, unless you're dying, you don't go to sick call. If you got a sore knee, you just suck it up and drive on. And that's part of the reason why I'm 100% disabled through the VA now, is because my body took a toll on it, because that's what the Army, the Marines, the Air Force, that's what they condition your mind to do. And when people think they're alone, they're not. I was always told going to sick call was a weakness. It's not a weakness, it's taking care of you. Because when you're out, the Army, the Marines, the Air Force, it doesn't slow down. You're easily replaced the moment you go from, I was Sergeant Leisinger and now I'm just Chris Leisinger. The Army didn't slow down. They had someone to fill my shoes and take my spot. Maybe they were as good as me, maybe they were better, maybe they were worse. But they didn't slow down. If you want to do it, reach out to me. Big Mike, or as we call him, Mike Mannion and Healing Frontline Warriors, he's working on getting it so that the people, all they need to do is show up to Tucson. And then he takes care of everything else. He picks you up in Tucson, takes you down to his ranch in Mexico. All the medicine is free, like he doesn't charge vets. There's a reggae festival. Anything he can do to raise money to help veterans, that's his niche. That's what he cares about. I was on 16. 6 of them were to treat the illness, treat my suicide, my anxiety, depression, the TBI. 6 of them were to treat that. The other 10 were to counteract the side effects, because some of those meds caused you to have suicidal ideations, which to me makes no sense. If you already have it, we're going to give you a medicine that is supposed to fix you, but it's going to make that worse. I just did it. It was, the president of my club literally called me one day and said, I got something you need to try. And I went down to Mexico and was 6 hours across the border, and because I have the trust in Joey Powell, I did it. And we did ayahuasca right out the gate. And he dove into the darkness of my mind right along with me. So I give a lot of credit to him. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. You can find me on Facebook. Just look up Sabre Loco, SABRELOCO. Shoot me a message. I can get you in touch with anybody you need to. I can get you in touch if you're a vet and you're hurting. I will always answer for a vet because no one's going to take care of us like we take care of our own.